the year, I was 100% convinced of AI changing everything about knowledge management and how we deal with information and things like that. And I was even one of those at the beginning, believing that it will completely change our school systems, our university systems, and this thought has completely changed over the year. I believe that it's today more important than ever to have a good basic understanding, good basic knowledge about politics, about economies, about math, about whatever, that you are able to deal with AI in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And I also believe that what we need to do, especially in this time where we are facing this worker shortage, where we have more and more older generations also working for us, that we need to enable them, that they understand how to do it. There's just one, and I'm not sure if we talked about it before, but in this context, of course, we then tend also to talk about lifelong learning or lifelong education and things like that. And to me, it sounds like a sentence. You send someone lifelong to jail. And have you have you,
Right.
have you heard of a better wording for how, yeah, perhaps also to engage people in really embracing that they have to learn, they continue to learn, and they're fun and they're happy with learning until they.
My great grandmother used to say, I'm going to, she would always say this, I'm going to live longer because I learned something today. She said it all the time. And so what we have to present the idea of lifelong learning as an excitement, as a joy. And I know I'm dealing with it with my mother right now. There's technologies that she can't master, and she's very frustrated, and she gets very angry, and she can't remember things. And it's hard to get her to understand why learning that technology is to her advantage, and why everything gets so much easier if she would take the time and the patience to learn it. So I think what's been missing is the why of lifelong learning, and the view of what's at the end of it. It's like, so this learning curves are a pain, and they get harder when you get older. I have a piano sitting over there, as we've talked about musical instruments a lot. Do you know how hard it is to learn how to read music when you're an adult? It's impossible. So there's a joy to it for me. I love the outcome. I hate the process. And that's the thing that we have to help people understand. We have to make the process easier, and we can use AI to make the process easier. We have to make it more fun to learn something new. And then we have to get people attached to the concept of the outcome once you've learned it. Another great aunt of mine, my grandmother's sister, used to say, anything you know is easy.
I was just looking up one quote that I also liked in this context, and it's from Albert Einstein, and he was saying that wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. So it's like you don't end, and I think it's also, and there are also researches about how your brain is still able to grow, even in your 80s, 90s, if you keep learning new things. And that's the best thing also to avoid all these diseases that.
Yeah. And beautifully, Albert Einstein also said, everyone is a genius.
Yeah.
Everyone has genius in them. But if we judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life thinking it's an idiot.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's, there's nothing wrong with you. You might hate math. You might hate numbers don't make any sense to you, but you can sit it with a musical instrument and create something beautiful. You know what? Then just do that. Don't try forcing yourself to become an expert in maths.